Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, who the word calls God, and Yahweh Shah, who the word he calls Jesus Christ. Brother Judah Mayan coming with a quick exhortation and verse of the day through the Spirit. Just jumping right into it. Going into Revelation 2, in verse 5. Whether you new in this truth, or been in for a while, this is a good exhortation to remember, that zeal that you have, man, or had, man. Sometimes you've been in the truth for a couple years or this or that. Life take a hold of us, either you got children or a job or whatever the case may be, sometimes, it can seem like we're not going as hard as we used to, man. Right? So this just really admonishment on, remember the first works, man. I know a lot of brothers could attest, or sisters could attest, man, when you first came in this thing, if you've been in for, a couple years or whatnot. And that zeal when you first come in, you rebuking everybody. You telling them they Israelites. You saying, hey, the unclean foods keep the Sabbath day. And that zeal grow is at an all-time high, man. As years go by, you can kind of get a little slack. Lord willing, that shouldn't be the case. But, like I was saying earlier, as far as having children, all these things to catch up to you and not dim your light, which it shouldn't, but, it's, for lack of better terms, man, you can kind of get slightly complacent, man. Hey, but we got to remember what this thing is about, man. We see all these wars. Right, Trump, taking the president of Venezuela captive, and all these wars and rumors. China's talking about some, they're gonna destroy America if they try it, and all the other nations, saying if America touches Greenland, NATO, and so it's a lot going on. So how much more now to remember that first estate that we was in, man? You gotta catch that fire back, man. Even when if you want to use the analogy of where you come to like, you ever been camping or barbecue, and that you kind of put more wood and coal in there, man, so it can stay burning bright, man. That's the same way with us, man. Whether it's reading, studying, fasting, praying, exhortation, right? If you do video, hey, we got to remember those things, and if we able to kindle that fire back up, man, burning hot, man. So I know I was long with it, but that's what even posed me to go into this in Revelation 2 and verse 5. So let me get right into it, right? So like but just tried to make the point, man. Right, but this is the point. Revelation 2 and verse number 5. It says, remember therefore from whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first works, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and remove thy candlestick from out thy place, except thou repent. Right, so we got to remember that first estate, man. If I'm speaking from brothers be on fire when they first come in. Rebuking everybody, children, mom, and you know how it is when you first come in. I heard many stories, of brothers and they zeal when they first come in, but we got to remember that first estate, man. Right? If you do videos, man. You used to read 5, 6, 7 chapters a day, and now you kind of get a half a chapter in. Now you get one chapter. You gotta remember that, man. Hey, go back to that first seal, your first love, man. This should be our first love, man. Once you first came to this truth, man. You heard it, whether you heard it from YouTube or from a family member or, social media platform. That's what it's for. So the Most High use it to awaken the 12 tribes, man, because it was told that we were going to get woken these last days, man. All right, so however method you brought in, remember that your first works, man. Kindle that flame back, man. So that's what this all is about, man. This whole verse of the day, it's really to just bring you to remembrance and stir you back up, man. Stir you into remembrance of those first words. Damn, I did used to read 10 chapters a day. Then I used to study for 1 hour. Then I used to give alms, man. Then I used to call brothers and sisters, man. I used to check on, so and so and so. So if these things that, you speaking of, some things you used to do, and you remember, like, dang, you ain't doing it no more. Hey, start back doing it, man. Little by little, man. Right? But that's why I said I made haste and delayed not. Right? Though he's talking about David was talking about keeping the commandments, but nonetheless, how much more? Let's get that real quick. So like it, a little under the weather. Right? This is Psalm 119. So like in verse 50, I started at 59. Right? Verse 59, it says, I thought on my ways and turned my feet unto thy testimonies, man. It says, I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments. So though it's talking about commandments, but he's saying you thought of my ways. Damn, I used to do these things and now I'm not. Hey, am I waxing cold? Am I waxing hot? These are the things you need to meditate and ponder on, man. And make haste to do it, man. Don't say you're gonna do it tomorrow and then put it off for another year, man. And who knows how much time is left, man, on that clock, man. Only the Most High know it. But nonetheless, hey, we gotta make our call and election sure. Remember these first words that we used to do, man. Should be no brother or sister who's just not reading at all, not studying at all, not praying, not fasting. Hey, these things was commanded to us, man. Right? Paraphrasing, it said it's going to be a time when the bridegroom, the Pharisees were trying to get on the disciples to Yahushua, and he like, hey, it's a time, the bridegroom is here right now, or if you paraphrase. So it's going to be a time and a place when the bridegroom get taken, when they going to have to fast. Right? So these things were commanded to us, paraphrasing in Matthew, man. Right? So we want to make sure, we fasting, praying. Hey, it said, pray without ceasing in 1 Thessalonians 5:18 on down, man. Right, hey, the commandments, we supposed to be keeping these. Hey, forever. You ain't wearing fringes or doing the small things, what seem is small, right? That's why it says in the book of Sirach, he that condemneth small things shall fall little by little, man. Right? And I'm driving, so, I can't really pull too many. But nonetheless, just paraphrasing that, hey, we got to remember these things, man. Right? The Lord is a man of action, man. Can't say you do this and that and you got no action behind it, man. We don't want to be hypocrites. We don't want to be fake, false, what they say in the world, phonies, man. The Lord not dealing with that man or woman or child. So remember those first words, man. Let's get stirred back up, man. Hey, start little. If you used to read 10, hey, start with 3 chapters, 2 chapters. And like I tell, some brothers, hey, sometimes, you may have to get off that Bible app. We got the app on our phone, the Bible app. So hey, you may have to pull out an actual Bible, because what happens when you start reading on that phone, now you yawning. Now you getting tired. Now you on the app, but then your fingers creep to Facebook or Instagram or any other social media platform, anything else. Because why? You read half a chapter, then you like, oh, my Instagram or my Facebook. So you may have to put the phone away from you just to even get your reading in. This phone is a big distraction, man. Though it's, FaceTime, we can talk to somebody from the Bay Area all the way over to the East Coast. Hey, without having to physically be there, but hey, it's a hindrance too, because all the so-called tech behind it, man. Now you can just be on scrolling all day. You're supposed to read 10 chapters or make your way back up to that. You start with 2 and you read a half a chapter and now you're on Facebook. So that's how I start too, man. It's about discipline, temperance, self-control, the fruits of the spirit, right? These are things that we got to work on too, man. So not to be long-winded, but just remember the first works, man. Remember the first works, man, of the Lord. So, this is a quick exhortation just to get stirred back up in the spirit and to literally do the first works, man. We don't want the Most High, like it says in Revelation, Revelation 2 and 5. We don't want to be that brother that the Most High comes and removes thy candlestick or sister. The Lord can do that, man, if you're not diligent, man. And we don't leave men in flesh, through the spirit, blood and flesh. But the Lord can do what he wants, man. So, gotta remember that, man. So, all praise to the Most High. Like I said, it wasn't supposed to be long-winded. It was just, straight to the point through the spirit. But, Remember the first words, get back stirred up. Hey, and get back to your first love, man. Right? So with that, we get all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Shalom.